This is 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester, Massachusetts, the Dr. Chris Radio Horror program. If you're not catching this live on WCUW, hopefully you're catching this on Radio Free America later on, or you're catching this online on the Radio Horror YouTube channel. And tonight on the show, we have one of the most beautiful Scream Queen actresses working today on the show with us from the movie Party Bus to Hell, as well as Scorned and Wrong Turn 6. We have Sadie Katz on the show with us. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Sadie.
Thank you. I'll take that introduction any day.
And you're also working on a documentary about Bill Murray, which was kind of unusual. I got that email. I was like, whoa, there's a Bill Murray documentary coming out.
Yeah, it's called The Bill Murray Experience. It's already out on VOD platforms, so iTunes, Amazon, Hulu, on your cable video on demand if you enter it in under The Bill Murray Experience. And it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray April 13th. At the same time as Party Bus. And actually, I think Blood Feast will also be coming out around that time too. And I have a little thing in a trauma film. It's a trauma dance in blaxploitation.
Oh, trauma films are always fantastic.
Yeah, lots of stuff happening this April. It's exciting.
What's the trauma film about? That one I didn't get the press release on.
Well, I have like a blink and you miss it part, but actually it's this like 6-hour DVD, basically a bunch of fake trailers for horror movies, and it has people like PJ Souls also did it. Just a lot of like faces that are kind of surprises that will pop up, and it's something that I guess you would put on in the background and have some fun with. The trailers are like 2-3 minutes each, and it's just sort of exploitation, just like a huge 6-hour thing of fun shit. Only Troma can do it with 25 different directors involved with it.
You've also been a writer as well as being an actress in front of the camera. Do you want to do more writing, producing, directing in the future and stay away from being in front of the camera?
Well, you know what? It's so funny. I love acting, of course, a ton. But, the thing about acting is you don't always have a lot of control in what you do. And, when I show up as an actor on set, I'm like, I'm chill. I'm like, where do you want me to stand? What do you want? I have one job, and that's great, just to act, and that's all I want. But actually, right when you called, I'm in the middle of moving, and I started writing down dialogue. I think sometimes when you're an actor, people go like, oh, this is an actor that wants to, now they want to direct or they want to do other stuff, and I'm like, I'm an artist, so I want to do different kinds of art, and that's kind of fun to me. I'd love to do a pop-up art gallery one day or a coffee table book or, I don't really want acting to be the only thing that defines my interest. I think that in some ways makes you less of an interesting performer. And I just, sometimes you just get a little bit bored of telling somebody else's stories and you'd like to tell your own. I mean, that's sort of the thing. There's some things where people are like, oh, do you want to write this and be in it? And I'm like, well, there's some stuff that I'd like to do and have it be somebody else's baby. I just wrote a pilot for somebody that was a comedy that wasn't necessarily something I would have that I particularly liked, but I enjoyed writing it for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice when you're doing different things and you're collaborating and you have, lots of spoons and lots of pots. Rather than, I don't even know if that's a phrase, but there's something kind of exciting and it's like you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. That's a better one. That's a better one right there.
Talk a little bit about Party Bus to Hell, and for anyone not familiar with it, give us a little bit of synopsis.
Okay, so I should say, the word on the street is they changed the title of the movie, The Bus Party to Hell, because of where it comes on the scroll, which is funny. But, so Party Bus to Hell or Bus Party to Hell, whichever. It's about a bunch of kids, young adults that are all making their way to Burning Man. And I play the bus driver, Joan, and little do they know that the bus driver has other plans for them. And, it's a sexy horror comedy that's pretty funny. Rolf Kaninsky is the director and the writer, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. There's some really good jumps. I think the creatures are being really cool. There's some good music in it, and I think that's what you expect from a movie like Bus Party to Hell.
You've done mostly horror movies your entire career. Is this the genre that you want to stick with and be a scream queen, or do you want to do other things?
I'm so grateful and like loyal to the horror community, but I am sort of like don't want to stick to anything in my life really. I just want to be open to fun opportunities. So if it's a horror script, then I'm like, yeah, cool, great. And I have, a lot of my friends are in horror, and I love them. So you tend to collaborate on the same thing, and the audience is very loyal for horror films. So I'm really grateful for that.
How was it working on this film with Tara Reid, whose career has kind of like re-exploded because of the Sharknado franchise that she's been part of?
I know. We were talking at the wrap party, and it's funny because she's kind of, she's known for being a hot mess and everything, but I think a lot of her stuff is very strategic, and she's, obviously a businesswoman, and I have to tell you, she can play poker like no one I've ever seen. Because we filmed it in Vegas, and so afterwards, I watched her gamble, and she's really good. So I think Tara Reid is very, a little bit more savvy than people give her credit for. People want to show her being a hot mess, and it gets her, attention. She kind of is going with that. But the Sharknado thing, I'm telling you, who would have thought that it would have been so huge? It just gets bigger and bigger, and the last one was friggin' genius.
When the scripts come in, do you get a onslaught of them from your agent all at once, or do you get to be picky and choosy, or is it like a constant hustle, 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 and auditions?
It depends on the project. If they're out of like state or something like Party Bus, I got like a direct offer on. Right now I'm working on a script with a friend of mine, Min Collins, that we're actually writing together. I guess it depends. Right now I have to be truthful. I knew I had a few movies coming out, so I was working on the release of my documentary through Gravitas. So I was the one doing all the, the deliverables and getting it ready for it to be released. So I have a 16-year-old, so I'm not like, maybe, I'll go on a couple auditions if I hear it, but I'm kind of looking for, if I'm doing horror films, I'm kind of looking for like a direct offer or, some of that I'm meeting with directly because I've been doing it a while, and I'm like, well, I have a body of work out there, you can watch it. So it just sort of depends. I mean, right now, I've got so much stuff going on that every time I'm like, oh, I should pound the pavement and, meet some more directors and get some other projects going and do some open, not open auditions, but regular auditions. But I'm so busy. I'm like, if I get cast in something right now, I actually got a couple of things I'm doing. It's not like I have a lot of downtime. Right now, I'm actually doing casting for American Ninja Warrior, which is my first time doing anything like that. But because of doing the documentary, I really was excited about maybe exploring other avenues of reality television, like my doc, and wanting to get a little bit of work in that. I mean, that's what's so cool about being in LA is I like to stick my toe in lots of pools and discover that and make different contacts.
One of the bloodiest films I think I saw you in, which is what I wanted to jump at the chance to have a chance to talk to you, was I saw a couple of years ago Blood Feast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's finally coming out. Did you hear all the stuff that happened with the Motion Picture Association?
No, I didn't. Tell us a story.
Okay, here's the story. So the film, Marcel, the director, the film was about to be released in theaters through all the Regency theaters, and I guess because it was so bloody, obviously, they went kind of nuts about it and said no. And they were like, we can't release this. It's like, we're going to give it an X rating. And I'm like, an X? Isn't that bloody? So it was a big deal. And it took like a year. And so I just went to Best Buy and bought a copy. It was sold out, which was exciting. But it's the first cut of it, and now they're going to re-release it with the director's cut. So it's finally coming out, but it took forever. And it's got Robert Ressler in it, and Carolyn Williams, and Sophie Monk, who is a bachelorette in Australia, or Australian bachelorette, and it was, I think it's a pretty cool film.
The other guest that we have coming on the show tonight, you said that you knew very well, was Victoria Damara. How do you guys know each other? What films did you work on?
Oh, I just remembered. Lesbian Zombies from Mars.
Oh, my God.
That's how we met. Lesbian Zombies from Outer Space. That's what it was. So about 10 years ago, I show up on set, as happened. This was a decade ago, so it was when things first started getting popping for me. And Victoria's there, and Victoria's been hustling for a long time, and she's a really, really, if you're a Victoria Damara fan, she works super, super hard. Legitly is constantly hustling and promoting and Anyway, so we show up and we are lesbian zombies, and we are both covered in blood and we're in lingerie, and I think we had to make out, and then we had to, how do I put this? Can I say penis on the air?
We could say that you had to devour some type of object.
Yes, and then we said a dirty word about that object into the camera, and it was very fun. And so yeah, I was making out with Victoria eating a hot dog the first time I met her, and since then we've done, I think we did State of Desolation together, but I wasn't there for the same days. We actually did a screen clean speech or something where we were talking about how to break into the horror industry, and she was there. And we've gone out on a couple of projects together that were being pitched for a reality show, and we bump into each other, and it's always exciting to see her.
Do you hit a lot of horror conventions?
I did, was it ScareCon? I did a lingerie horror show for Alma. What's Alma's last name? She's a great photographer, and she sews lingerie, and she's very talented. Alma Lee? Anyway, so I just did that. I always go to Monster Palooza. I'm going to be signing autographs at Comic-Con this year. I did it last year as well. So when I get an opportunity, it's a lot of fun.
We actually have a ScareCon convention coming up here in Framingham, Massachusetts, that you should see about attending, since you've been at ScareCon before.
Oh, I would love that. Are you kidding me? I'd love that. And I'm trying to think if I've been, what part of Massachusetts?
Framingham. It's in Middlesex County. It's kind of between Worcester and Boston.
Oh, fun. I've been to Boston. I just wondered what suburb. Yeah, I flew down for the guys at Shock Stock in Canada and had so much fun. I think my liver was literally needed to be squeezed out for days when I came back. Isn't that the kind of the deal after the horror convention?
Maybe.
So, I drank more than I should have, but it's kind of one big wonderful family, and everyone shares in the same stuff, and within the first day of the convention, everyone's having the best time ever. I really enjoy it. I'm always if someone wants me there, I'll jump on a plane and come over.
When the script that you're shooting for calls for nudity, do you ever have any apprehension about doing it, or do you do it if it's part of the story and something that you'd be really interested in doing?
Well, I won't do a movie if I'm just showing up. I'm mostly interested in doing leads and stuff. So, typically on a film, a lead's going to have some nudity, and I've done more nudity than a lot of people, just because I tend to play sexed up characters, and on Party Bus or Bus Party, Joan, they strip her naked, and she's kind of super sexed up. I won't give away the reasons why. And we had talked originally about the fact, okay, when they strip her down to her panties, will, like, she'll put back on her clothes. But then when we were doing it, I was like, it doesn't make any sense why my character would cover up. Like, that's exactly what she wouldn't do. And so mostly I'm like, okay, well then, how are we going to shoot it? And you have to trust your DP and your director a lot. So Michael Sue is the DP, and I talked to him a lot about basically, like, what angle are you going to shoot me that is flattering? Because doing nudity is great and it's fine and it's fun, but, like, I'm not doing nudity for the people that I'm on set with. I'm doing it for the camera. So if I'm doing it for the camera, I'm like, how can we shoot me from, like, the most flattering angle and, you know, it work? So that's kind of my biggest concern is, like, okay, if we're going to do nudity, let's make sure it looks good. And, you know, it doesn't just feel gratuitous, that it feels, you know, sexy and kind of fun and part of it, but, you know, is lit well.
That makes sense. As a person who makes a lot of movies and you're immersed in this world of this genre of horror and geekdom and science fiction and fantasy, are you a collector yourself of anything?
Oh, that's interesting. You know, it's funny. I do have a lot of movies just by accident. And I'm moving right now, and I'm like, why do I have so many DVD movies? I'm a big reader, so I have books upon books, and I have stacks of playbooks, theater books, writing books, and then I have, you know, Stephen King books, and then I have classics, and so I'm a big reader, and I really like, you know, I kind of like my teacups and like girly plates and things and hats. So I'm not too much of a collector, but I will say I get pretty excited when I go to, like, the horror conventions and they're selling. It's like you're at a place and they're selling everything that you're like, this would be really cool to have. This is so cool. So it's like the best mall in the world.
Where can people find you online to if they want to send you compliments about your films or anything? Are you on Twitter or Facebook?
I am. I'm on Instagram under Sadie Katz, CDIEKATZ, and Twitter under Sadie_Katz. And my Facebook, I have a fan page that I'm negligent to look at, but you can always follow my personal page. Even if I can't add you as a friend, you can still follow because I have too many people. But under just Sadie Katz, and I think my picture right now, I'm wearing a hat or something. I just shot this silly thing called psychosexual, which is great. And so I'm wearing a psychosexual hat. It's happened.
We will look for you on the social media. Thank you so much, Sadie, for coming on the show with us to talk a little bit about your career and your most recent film, Party Bus to Hell.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry for saying that word.
No, don't worry about it. I'll find it and edit it out.
Okay, great. Okay.